Hello again, my friends. It is Father Richard again, and of course I'm going to be here for quite a while, I think, here in St. Peter's Square, and I have secured another situation or position. This strange-looking building in front of me is the post office, which is located right in the middle of St. Peter's Square. This is Posta Italiane, the Italian post office, which is in the Città del Vaticano, the Vatican City. So you can see that there are just a few people here. I estimated in a video a few minutes ago of several thousand. Doesn't look like it right where I'm standing, but for some reason, and I hope it's not because I look weird or anything, I am in my Servite habit, but I'm standing in a rather open area, and the thousands of people that are here, and it really is thousands, are standing all up there, probably because they want to be close to the front of St. Peter's, because what's going to happen there, if the cardinals vote and successfully vote, and they would indicate that on that screen, and there are several of these all over the square, the smoke will come out white or black. If it's white smoke and they elect somebody, one of the cardinals, to become the next pope, he is going to appear on that balcony up there about 45 minutes after the vote and bless everybody. So I would imagine everybody wants to be sort of close to that. I'm not going to get into that crowd. Number one, I don't like being pressed by crowds like that. Number two, I can just zoom in and get everything that I need from back here. And I think from here also, it's rather more interesting to see the whole basilica up there with the 12 apostles going across the front of St. Peter's Basilica, the famous Bernini Dome up there, and the gorgeous Roman sky that we have today. Blue skies, puffy clouds all over, some gray, threatening a little rain here and there. But again, to be here in Rome on this momentous occasion, there the apostolic, the papal palace, right behind the colonnade, that's the place that the Pope would normally live, and perhaps the next Pope will take up his residence there. You see those two little dark windows, those are the typical windows that the Pope would do his blessings from, and on any given Sunday. And this was the papal palace that Pope Francis did not live in. He lived in a very humble space in what they still call, and where the cardinals are staying right now, the St. Martha Guest House, which is behind me in another part of the Vatican City, which of course is very, very small. But he lived in a very simple room or two, and he did not live in the papal palace. That was one of the key indicators of his papacy, that he was so simply did not want to live like a king. He wanted to live like a simple, humble parish priest. It's just so happened that his parishioners numbered 1.4 billion people. That's a really big parish. That's called the Roman Catholic Church. And in a way, I think Pope Francis was really a pastor for the entire world. He was a pastor for all of us. And we're hoping and praying that the next Pope will be very, very similar to him, although obviously he has to be his own person. So there is one other thing that I want to draw your attention to here, besides the beauties of this square and the fascination of everything here in St. Peter's, is that in St. Peter's Square, you know that there is this rather large colonnade above us with the statues of the various saints that are here, and they go all around the square. I'm trying to get the camera to follow me around. It's not cooperating right now, but it will. And way up there, you'll see statues of various saints that go all the way around to the opening in the middle, and then there's a very large opening in the square, and then the colonnade continues on the other side with, again, an equally large number of very well-known saints of the church that stand on top. And what I want to call your attention to is that there is a very well-known and famous Servite saint, and many of you are going to know who it is, who's over on this side and right up, actually almost directly above me right here. I'm going to try to zoom in and see if I can catch him for you. It's a little difficult to manage, but I'm going to try to find a way to do it. And he's right there. Oh, the camera doesn't want to go that way. But I'm sorry for the technical difficulties here. I'm still learning to use this gimbal. But what I will tell you, and I will get up there at some point with the camera, it is St. Philip Benizi, who is pictured as holding a cross, a crucifix, which he called his book. The crucifix was his book. And at his feet, just sort of behind him, is the triple-tiered papal tiara. And that's to symbolize that in the year 1271, when a conclave was taking place, there were only 13 cardinals at the time in the 1268 to 1271 conclave. And you heard that right, the conclave lasted 3 years. And that was the beginning of the change in how they ran the conclave because of political influence and all kinds of other difficulties. If you go online, you can read it, very, very detailed history. That's when they began finally to lock the cardinals up, and literally they took the roof off the place they were living and they put them on bread and water, and they said, you need to elect a pope. In any case, up at that time, they were looking desperately for someone to be a compromise candidate, someone who would please everybody, and they asked Philip Benizi, our Servite saint, who was extremely well known in Rome as a tremendously holy man and someone who was utterly faithful to the church and to the Gospels in living and in his writings and his travelings and his preaching. And when he got wind of the fact that he was being considered, that the cardinals were looking for him to bring him in and vote for him, he literally ran away. He ran away and hid himself till the cardinals gave up, and they eventually chose another individual, another cardinal, who became Pope Gregory X. But St. Philip is again up there, and if I could just make the camera get up there, but I can't do it. I'll get it later. I will definitely get it later. In any case, we're back here at St. Peter's, and I'm going to try to just focus on what's going on down here and the screens, which will show at some point whether the cardinals have voted yet today. So for the moment, I'm going to cut the video short and pray that the Blessed Virgin Mary watch over you with Christ her Son, and I'll pick up again in a few minutes.